Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started because we have a lot of things I want to cover this morning. I first off want to say congratulations on being a part of this call. Congratulations on wanting to either get started for the very first time. If you're a brand new consultant, we want to welcome you to Arbonne, welcome you to this experience. I can vividly remember how scared I was when I first started. I was a nervous wreck. This was my prayer to God. This is the craziest thing you've ever asked me to do, but I'm going to step out in faith and trust you for the fruit and take it one day at a time. And that is really how I got started. But before I get into what the business builder basics are and how we get started with the basics, I want to invite National Vice President Kim Ford on. She's going to share with us a quick vision about where we are now and where we can be with this business. So Kim, are you in a spot where you can share?
Yes, I'm just dropping my kiddo off at water polo. Yeah, you guys, I just first of all want to say congratulations for making the first step, right? Like if this is your first Arbonne call and this is the first time that you are plugging into something, I want to tell you that there's a heck of a lot more of things like this, and they're all the time. And so if you're nervous about what to do or how to get started or what the next steps are, just know that we're here to support you. We have things all the time to keep you connected. And I just want to give you a little bit of encouragement. When I started Arbonne, I had no idea how to do anything like this. I really didn't wear makeup. I really didn't do my skincare. I didn't really do anything that we have. I didn't do nutrition products, none of those things, but I really needed a business. I really needed financial security. I really needed flexibility in my life. And I knew that these products would be something that my friends would love and that it was something that my friends were already using, just a different brand. And so I figured, why not just get them to switch their brand? Why not just get them to take what they're already using and switch their brand to this? Because these are so much better, right? We're certified vegan, we're gluten-free, we're dairy-free, we have all these things. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. And so I really just want to encourage each and every one of you to plug into everything that we have. There is so much, it can be overwhelming, but it's so good, every piece of it. And really just have faith. There is a lot of doubt that can come into your mind at all angles, all the time. And I want you to not let doubt creep you out or kick you out or get you out, right? You need to let the abundance thinking, the abundance mindset, what's possible, get you motivated and make you move forward. And so this call is going to give you the ABCs and the nuts and bolts on what to do to make that happen. But what happens in between your two ears right here is really what's going to make the difference, because you can do all the right steps, but if you do them with a mindset that it's not going to work out, or a mindset that somebody's going to tell you a no, or a mindset that, this may not work for me, then it's not going to work as well as when you have belief that you're going to go somewhere. So we always say in Arbonne that belief has a sound, and it's 100% true. Just know that if you don't have that belief yet, borrow it from your upline, know that they believe in you, and continue to grow your own belief, because as you start to get more confident and you start to go through the motions, even though you may not think it's going to be well or go well, as you continue to go it and do it and believe that it'll happen, you'll get better at it, and you'll attract the right people into your business, and you'll lead the people that need to be led. So I'm excited for all of you. Beth's going to give you guys the rundown, and we're super excited to have you guys as a part of our group.
Thank you, Kim. That was awesome. And just like I vividly remember when I joined, I remember that when Kim joined too. And guys, we know that results are not typical. If you want to see what's typical, go to earnings.arbonne.com. Kim did get to the regional vice president level 6.5 months later. I got to the regional vice president level 11 months after starting. And again, what is not typical is our work ethic. But if you want to know what that work ethic looks like, that's what I'm going to talk to you guys about today. I'm going to talk to you about what can happen and what is possible when you jump in. So my goal with this getting started is to help you guys get into motion and movement as quickly as possible. Like, we want to help you fall in love with Arbonne. And I remember years ago hearing at MVP talk about that our goal is to help you fall in love with Arbonne as quickly as possible. And you might be wondering, what do you mean by that, Beth? Like, I already love the products. I'm already impressed with the people, or I love the community. But guys, I will tell you, the way you fall in love with Arbonne the fastest, like really learn to love what it is to get into activity. Your first 30 days are crucial in this business because we want to help you learn how to not just place orders, we want to help you learn how to talk to people about the business, how to present the products and the business in presentations and one-on-ones. We want to help you learn how to also manage and start to grow a team and not manage. I hate using that word, but we want to help you start growing a team and duplicating yourself. And so those first 30 days, all of that can happen. But the only way all of that can happen is if we have a full calendar. And I will never forget when I sat down in January of 2004 to walk through the getting started process with then Regional Vice President Carlita Nelson. I know probably all of you know her as an ENVP. I got to know her as a regional vice president when I joined. And guys, there were a handful of basics that she stressed to me. And these are the same things we stressed to Kim when she started as well. And these basics, if we latch onto these basics, you will be able to get your business off the ground. And I want you guys to think about what it takes to get a rocket ship out of orbit. Like, it's a lot. Like, it took a lot for them to figure out how to break the sound barrier in an airplane. A lot of pilots died in the process. But it's even more to get a rocket ship out of orbit. So we want to help you create some momentum this month in these next 30 days to get your business out of orbit so that you can see the benefits of that down the road. So first of all, the first step is you want to make sure that you have your products. When Carlita showed up to my first launch party, she showed up and saw all my products setting out. I had the products that I had purchased for myself that I was also using to present to people. So back then we didn't have some of the wheels and deals and steals Arbonne has today, but I definitely knew that I needed to get and purchase things for myself so that I could be a product of the product so that I could then confidently share with other people that these products work. I will tell you, there were certain things that Carlita said. She said, make sure that you buy enough of the makeup that you currently wear. So whatever you wear, that's what she said, whatever you wear, Beth, whatever you buy something that Arbonne has the same and switch it out. And I want you guys to know, I want to preface this with, it's not like I had $500 sitting on the side for me to spend on anything. My husband always says it takes money to start something. And so I got the things that I needed so that I would be able to share with folks. And you know what? It's really funny. At one of my first presentations, somebody asked me, are you wearing their makeup? And I was able to confidently say, yes, I am. And I love it. I also learned early on that whatever you have, you want to work to switch that out. If you can't do it all at once, you work to do it eventually, because guys, we own a business, and I'm pretty sure the guys that own Walmart don't shop at Target, and the guys that own Target don't shop at Walmart. So you definitely want to eventually be everything that Arbonne has, you want to eventually be using, because you could just say, I'm going to cross that out of the catalog if it's something you don't want to use. And I remember there were some things like the first, when I joined, the protein shake was not good. And it was not good. That's all I'm going to say. And I remember telling Carlita, I'm not quite sure I like the taste of this protein shake. And she's like, you just got to learn to like it. And I learned to like it. And thank God Arbonne eventually replaced it with so much better. The second thing I want to encourage you guys to do, you got your products. I want to encourage you guys to write down your goals today. I'm going to show you guys an action plan. And in the action plan, there's a spot to write down your goal for promoting to district manager, area manager, regional vice president, and national vice president. I wrote all 4 of those down. I did not hit any of them, but I wrote them down. Guys, there are incredible statistics that are in your favor when you write a goal down. If you keep a goal in your head, there's a 90% chance it won't happen. If you write a goal down, it's something like 88% chance it will happen. That's insane to me. The odds are automatically in your favor when you write it down. Just write it down. That's what I say. For the love of God, write it down, right? And but you can ask your sponsor, like, what's the likelihood of me hitting? You can hit district manager this month. You can get into qualification for area manager this month in your first month, guys. That's how quickly you can grow in this business. So I just really want to encourage you to write those things down. Second thing, and I'm going to pull up a document to show you guys really fast, because I'm actually going to be working from Carlita Nelson's website. So this is carlitanelson.com.
Something's wrong with mine.
Let me mute the lines. So this is carlitanelson.com and password is Arbonne, all lowercase.
Dang.
Hold on, guys. I have a phone that keeps getting unmuted. Okay, we're good. And what you do is you click and you go to the getting started section. And there's a great getting started video that Carlita does where she walks through how to use this website and how to navigate all of that. But this is the action plan that I'm talking about. And I already have it pulled up. So are you guys seeing the action plan? Okay, good. So on this action plan, I want to skip to, oh, I forgot to talk about your whys. And I'm going to talk about that really fast before I get to the 100-person contact list. When I joined Arbonne, Carlita said, write down 21 reasons why you're doing Arbonne. We have a spot for 10. And I honestly thought this was a really unusual, suggestion. That seems kind of weird. Why do I need to write those things down? Now it's like imperative because your whys are the fuel for your rocket ship. So imagine if you were an astronaut and you're like, yeah, we're going up to see the moon, but we don't have any fuel. I mean, we would think they were crazy, right? But that's the same thing as a consultant deciding to start their business, but not having their whys written down because you want to know why you're doing this. Because I will tell you that you will hear no. You will have people laugh at you. You will have people tell you you're crazy. You will even have people say, you're in a pyramid scheme. And I'll share with you in a little bit. Well, I'll share with you right now because I probably forget. When people say that to you, my favorite question to say back is, do you know what a pyramid scheme is? Almost every single time they're like, well, not really. So it's just something they heard someone else say. And then whenever you talk about it, it's like, a pyramid scheme is illegal, guys. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's when money is changed through hands, but no product is given. It is completely illegal. So, but I love to ask that question back because most people have no clue. They really don't. And even if you go to Wikipedia and look up pyramid scheme, it even says on Wikipedia, which is not my favorite spot, but it says a pyramid or Ponzi scheme often gets confused with multi-level marketing, but it's not the same thing. So even on there, they support that. But your whys are important because you're going to have people who say no. I will tell you guys right now, I want to help you be mentally strong in this. Like Kim said, it's between our two ears. Do you guys know what happens to a lot of people? People will say people join network marketing. So many people join and they don't stay the course, like after the first month, 2 months, or 3 months. And you guys want to know a big reason why people quit this business is because they start hearing people's opinions and they have a hard time taking those opinions. So I'm going to give you suggestion number 1 is don't take advice from someone who knows absolutely nothing about this industry. If I were going to have a baby, which I'm not, but if I were, and I was looking for a new doctor here in Fresno, I would be talking to my friends who've had babies and who love their doctors. I would not be talking to guys who don't have babies. I would be talking to their wives. Or if I wanted to sell a house, I wouldn't go to my OBGYN and say, hey, do you have advice on how to sell a house? Nope. I would go and talk to my realtor who's actually an expert in the field. See how crazy it sounds when we say it like that? But oftentimes what happens when somebody joins a business like this, and it could be anything. Somebody could be starting beauty school because they're so excited about doing hair and their family and friends criticize them because they want them to go to a traditional school. Guys, it happens all day long. Everyone has an opinion. It doesn't mean we should take it. And so whenever somebody says that to you, my suggestion is to ask yourself a couple of questions. Does this person have another opportunity for me? Do they have a better opportunity? Are they going to help pay my bills? Do they even know what they're talking about? Like, do they have any experience? Guys, 5 weeks into my business, my father-in-law sat me down and told me I would fail. Like in any other given moment, we would listen to my father-in-law and advice. He was very successful. I would have listened to him when it came to money or anything, but he knew nothing about this industry. He was go to college, get your degree, and work for 40 years to build up what you have. And he knew nothing about our industry. All he knew was what some people had said. And I think he was embarrassed for me, to be honest with you. So had I not had my whys, because this was 5 weeks in, 5 weeks, guys. I was 5 weeks old in the business. Had I not had my whys rock solid, I remember fighting back the tears And I remember I said, no, sir, I disagree with you, sir. I really, truly believe I can do this. I've been to their homes. I've driven in their cars. I've seen the success. Beth, you just need to give up. I just hate to see you go through this. I don't want to see you get hurt. I don't, and so his concern was his concern for me as a person. So a lot of times when people give their opinion, that's where it's coming from. But I just said, no, thank you. And when I left that room, I cried because it hurt my feelings. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And then, but a year later, we had a celebration for my team and myself when I got my white Mercedes. I promoted to RVP 10 months after that conversation with him. And then 2 months later, we had my car presentation. He sat front and center, right up front. And, he passed away in 2007, but he became my biggest cheerleader. And he sat right up front. And he had big crocodile tears rolling down his face. And he told me, I am so glad you ignored my advice. I am so glad you didn't listen to me. And not only did we go on to this business to incredibly impact our family, but also his other daughter-in-law. And I will tell you guys that he used to get the biggest kick out of seeing my paychecks. He'd be like, I just don't get it. You didn't graduate college. Like, it just was so perplexing to him, but he became a believer. So know that your whys are what's going to help you get past people's opinions. Your whys are going to be what helps get you past the no-shows, the cancellations, the nobody saying yes. It's what your whys, if your kids are a part of your whys, and put a name and a picture next to it. If you want to get out of debt, then write down how much you owe. One of the greatest things that I love about my life is being debt-free. I love that. If you have those desires, write down what you owe on each credit card. Write down what you owe for school loans, like all of that, guys. So it stares you in the face and it stares you in the face every day. And look at your whys, because your whys are what's going to get your rocket ship off the ground. They're going to be your boss, because in Arbonne, we don't have a boss, and that's the beauty of it. But it's also the hard for a lot of us, because if you weren't raised to be an entrepreneur, then it's really difficult to not have a boss telling you what to do. And while I would love to boss you around, not really, but I am mentoring you into how to get started strong. So let your whys be your boss. Make sure you have them. You have 10 spots, but guys, if you struggle with figuring out what they are, here's some, little, what do you call them? I can't think of what they call it, but things to help you think of what to do or what to write down. And my whys have evolved like crazy, because I reached a lot already. And today they're so different than they were before. And so that's what's so fun, is as you cross things off, you get to write a new one. So if you're a seasoned consultant and you haven't done a new list of whys, you need to do a new list of whys, because we want to have whys that kind of get us in the gut, like make us cry, but we really want to have whys that make us work, that get us to make that next phone call or send that next text. So the next step I wanted to talk about is we make a list. And guys, you can print this entire action plan off. I want you to know the things that were the most important were Carlita sat down with me, know your why, make your list, and get into activity. And that's why those are the things I'm specifically talking about today. Your action plan, or this 100-person contact list. I remember thinking to myself, do I know 100 people? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you guys know before social media, like numbers people would tell us that by age 30, you know 2,000 people by name? This is without Facebook and Instagram, right? So I have my old phone book that's like, my mom made it. It's got like material on it, it's padding and all this stuff. It's an address book. I still use it today for Christmas cards and stuff, and I have things shoved in it. And for all of you guys who are super organized on Excel spreadsheets, you're going, oh my gosh, that's crazy, Beth. But that is how I started my business. I pulled that out and I went through that first. And then I went through and brainstormed. Who do I know? Today, we have easy access to our friends on Facebook and Instagram, but I want you guys to also remember the billions of numbers that are in your phone. We have contacts at our fingertips everywhere. And I think because we have so many contacts at our fingertips, people get overwhelmed and don't access the many avenues of contacts we have. So what I want to encourage you guys to do is I want you to actually, print this out and then start thinking about all the different networks you're involved in. You might go to church, the neighborhood you live in, the neighbors you know. What about the neighborhood you used to live in? And what about the neighborhood before that? People you went to elementary school with, people you went to junior high school, college, people, if you're married or have a significant other, sit down with them. Who do they know? When my husband and I sat down, like my warm market was not supportive and didn't really want to be involved in what I was doing. So the people who would have naturally we would go to all said no or didn't get involved. And so I had to go to another set of people I knew. Who do you know through people? We all know, like my sister is my best friend, but I know I went to high school with her husband. We graduated the same year. I know his family. I know my sister's best friends. I know. So who do you know through people? And especially if that person is a direct no to you, that doesn't mean we can't reach out to the people we know through them. And I think that's where people get tripped up. If I had to say where most new consultants get tripped up who struggle to grow is they don't make their 100% contact list and they stop at no. And so when you're making this list, one of the best things Carlita did for me is she printed out a map of the United States. And guys, back then, Arbonne was just in the United States. Today, we're in Canada, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Poland, any US American territory and any US military base around the world we can do business in. And we're getting ready to expand even more globally. So what I would say is think about those countries. Who do you know in the United States? So she said, who do you know in the United States? And I'm like, oh, I lived in Oklahoma when I started. But guys, I grew up in Southern California. My husband's from Central California. My dad lived in Seattle. I had friends who lived in North Carolina and Florida. Like I know people all over. So immediately she expanded my vision outside of my backyard. And that's how I started to grow my business. My sister-in-law in Fresno, California decided to jump on board in my second month. And then I had a cousin who lived 2 hours away from me in Ada, Oklahoma, who decided to jump on board a couple months later. And then so that's how I was able to start expanding. And so don't just think about your neighborhood. Don't just think about your backyard and the town you live in. I mean, 17 and a half years ago, we didn't have the ease of how much easier it is to launch people long distance. We didn't have Zoom. We didn't have FaceTime. We didn't have any of these things, but we still, I mean, you know how we did it back then? Not with this, because we didn't have smartphones. If I had a house phone, I'd give you an example of me sitting on a phone, talking to a new consultant, showing her how to do a party. That was how we did it. So today it's so much more simple. So expand your borders. So when you're making your list, include people that you know in other areas. And next thing I'm going to do is tell you how to work this list. Okay. And this is where I want to spend the most of my time is identify people on this list that you would love to do life with. Who do you want in your business? You know, I need to find a better example because Mark Zuckerberg kind of just doesn't have, his name is just not super popular right now. But imagine you were him a long time ago and you wanted to start Facebook. And then I guess that's a bad example because then we found out he stole it. But whatever. Okay, so you're starting something new that turns into something massive. And who do you invite to your first meeting? Who are the people that you want on your team? Like, guys, sometimes people automatically go to the needy people. And don't get me wrong, like my husband and I lived on very little. He was a pastor and we did not get into ministry to make lots of money. Like if you, quite honestly, when I show people what our monthly budget was, people's mouths drop. How did you survive with 4 kids? We worked the Dave Ramsey system very well and we did not have extra. So, but I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a work ethic and I love to help people. So who do you know? Who do you know that lights up a room? Who do you know that's that person of influence that people want to be around? Who do you know that's already good at what they do? Like, who is that person that, you know, whatever they do, whether they're a school teacher, whether they're a doctor, a nurse, whatever it might be, they do it well and they go the extra mile. These are the people that you want to invite to take a look at Arbonne. Who's the person that works 3 jobs? I will say something about Kim. I met Kim Ford, National Vice President Kim Ford. I met her when I was launching another gal named Kelly Featherstone. Kelly Featherstone and Kim went to junior high and high school together. Kelly invited Kim to her launch party, but Kim was not on her list. And when I met Kim, Kim should have been at the top of her list, but because Kim was the first person in the friend group to like land a job and a career and also buy a house and get married, it didn't look like from the outside that this is something Kim would want. And so that's why she wasn't on the list. But finding out that she was working 3 nursing jobs, had an incredible work ethic, and all of those things made her star. She'd be the first person to reach out to. So thank God she was invited to a launch party, right? So don't miss out on your Kim Ford. If you have someone in your life that's like that, Carlita was like that. Carlita was that as well. But Martha knew and saw, and that's why Martha reached out and offered her the business for 3 years straight, because she knew she was so busy. So oftentimes we get scared to reach out to the busiest people, but guys, people are busy, not because it's like Kim wanted to work 3 jobs. She was in a situation where she needed to work 3 jobs, and helping her get to a point where she was able to get rid of 2 of those with her Arbonne income was huge. So who are those people in your life that, and those are the ones I want you to circle, highlight, star 5 times. And then guys, I want you to circle at least 10 to 20 people on this list that you want to invite to do the business with you. Now, here's the tough part is I want you to start inviting them today. And guys, I know you're scared. There's no other way to do it. We have to do it scared. I was petrified. Every single time I picked up the phone, the house phone, which I was using because I had a flip phone, but every time I picked up the house phone, because we didn't have text messaging back then. If we did, I didn't know about it. And make a phone call, I was hyperventilating until that person answered the phone. So I had to do it scared. And that's what we have to do, is we have to do it scared. And what I would do is set a deadline for yourself. I like deadlines. And so if you want to set a deadline for yourself between now and tomorrow night, that you're going to reach out to at least 10 people from your list and invite them to take a look at the business. I personally like to send a voice text. Or it could be a regular text. If it's somebody you know will answer the phone, call them. Call them. And here's the thing, for those of you who are brand new, because this is one thing that people are struggle with, is like, I don't know what to say. I didn't know what to say either. But I will tell you, if your heart is in the right place and you know this could benefit and bless them, that's all that matters. Like, you could say all the wrong stuff, but if they feel your heart come through that conversation, it could be as simple as this. Kathy, I see your face, so I'm going to use you as an example. Kathy, I started something new and I am so nervous to talk to you about this, but you're the first person I thought of. Or if it's not the first person you thought of, don't lie to them. But if they popped into your head, you popped into my head when I was making a list. And I would love to tell you about what it is I'm doing. Like, it might not be for you, might not at all be for you, and that's okay. But if you'd be willing to just chat with me for a few minutes, I would love to invite you to take a look. And your sponsor, guys, is there, and your VPs are there to help you walk through these take-a-looks. That's what we call them, our take-a-looks. And if and we have an incredible document called Is This Business For You, which is a 2-sheet document that is, like, to me, the easiest thing to use, because it's like Arbonne walks us through what to say and the questions to ask. And that's all you need. And honestly, to me, if it's a well-memorized presentation that sounds like you're dictating something, there's not a whole lot of heart in that. But if it's I'm probably going to mess up, I'm brand new at this, and that's why my friend is on, because she's helping me. Or if she can't do it there with you and you do it by yourself. Like, I remember my second party ever, Carlita couldn't be there, and she said to me, "You're going to do great, Beth. You're going to do awesome." I'm like, she's nuts. She is crazy. She's loony. She's lost her mind. I can't do this. And I only had 30 minutes to do a presentation that would probably take me 45. And I was so nervous. My stomach was in knots. I thought I was going to throw up, but I did it. And I called her afterwards and left a voicemail. I'm like, I did it. I got a booking and I got sales. And then she called me back. She's like, great, I'll watch you do your next party tonight. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But all those things helped me gain confidence. Each thing I did, I gained confidence. And guys, I want to just reassure you, I've been doing this for 17 and a half years and I still stumble over my words. Like, I still say sometimes the wrong thing, or something crazy comes out of my mouth and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But you know what? It just shows that I'm real. And that's the most important part and most important comment, most important thing about this is we want you to be real. So just know your goal is to reach out to those 10 people in the next 2 days, invite them to take a look. We have an incredible Discover Arbonne happening Monday night at 6 p.m. on Zoom. If you want to use that as well, you can use that too. We should be using that every week. So just know that there are things out there to help you, but I highly encourage, especially being new, to be on those weekly Discovers, because you will learn by listening to different VPs present. You'll learn a lot. And that's how I learned in my business, by watching and listening to anything and everything I could, because every single time I picked up something new. But that's your next goal for this 100% contact list. The next goal from this list is to identify people that are going to be hosting for you. So our goal, guys, is to get in front of 40, to tell the Arbonne story to 40 different people. That's not this month. The quickest and fastest way to do that is in events. Like when someone hosts an event for you, whether they be getting 5 friends on the patio at Starbucks, or they get 5 friends by their pool in the backyard, or they get 5 friends in their living room, or they get, 10 to 15 on Facebook or on a Zoom. The quickest and fastest way to our 40 faces is through events. And, especially like if I have 8 hosts and they've got 5 people at each, and I'm talking to each of those people about Arbonne, then boom, I've hit my 40 faces. But that's going to really gain you traction. So who on this list can you reach out to host? Now, some of the people you reach out to about the business are going to be a no to the business, but that's when we get to use the funnel method and we work backwards. If we offer them the business first, then we can step down to, okay, I can see this isn't for you, but would you be willing to help me out this is a way you can help me out without spending a dime. And that would be asking them to then, would you be willing to get a few friends over so I can come and practice how to present and really get better at what I do? And again, too, guys, reach out to your sponsor, because they're going to be helping you with this and how to present and what that looks like. That's a whole nother call. And but we want to help you get into activity as quickly as possible. We want to set up 2 launch events today. So call the gal who's launching you, or guy, and say, I need to get you on my calendar for 2 launch events as quickly as possible. And then what you want to do, guys, is you want to fill the rest of the time up in your month. I highly suggest you print out a June calendar. Hopefully you have already a calendar, but if you don't, print out a June calendar. Just print one off of Google. And then what you do, and do July as well. And what you want to do is you want to cross out everything that's non-negotiable. Your job is non-negotiable because it helps pay the bills, right? Cross out the non-negotiable times, and then go back through your calendar and find all the available time slots you have. You're going to be really shocked how much time you have. Really shocked. Kim was working a bazillion hours a week when she started, and I'm telling you that all we could do back then was group presentations. We did not have Facebook events, Zoom events. And so when I looked at her calendar, I remember kind of gulping, because thinking, holy cannoli. But she made it work. There was one month where she had 8 days that could have an event. 8 days, guys, out of 31 days. And she booked those days up solid. So really and truly, any schedule we can make this work with, especially today in the light of the technology we live in. And so your goal is to load your bases and get in front of as many people as you possibly can these first 30 days with a full calendar. That's where you're going to fall in love with Arbonne, because you're going to dang, look at this. I've learned how to place orders. I've learned how to talk to people about the business. I've learned how to present. I've learned how to do all of it. And that's our goal, is to help you do just that. The other thing you can identify from your 100-person contact list are people that you're your heart's so heavy for them for the 30-day that you're going to reach out to them just immediately about joining you on the 30-day. Oftentimes new consultants tell me, I'm going to wait till I do the 30 days so I can share my results. Don't wait. Your friends are going to be so bummed when they see your incredible results. And they're like, why didn't you tell me at the beginning? So if you're starting the 30-day coming up this week, I would reach out to as many people as possible today and say, hey, I'm starting this program. I'd love to have you join me. Accountability is everything. Yeah, they're going to get their set a few days late, but that's okay. Get folks around you doing it with you. Don't wait till you see results. You're going to see results if you stick to the program. If you cheat, maybe not. But if you stick to the program, you're going to see results. But don't wait to invite people to join you, guys. Invite those people to join you now, so that because here's what happens. a lot of those people are going to join you in the business because they're like, all my friends at work are like, how'd you lose 5 pounds this week? You look amazing. And because they're going to start talking about sleeping better and all these things that are benefiting them. And that those folks will turn into business builders as well. And guys, the last thing I want to say is make the most out of the next 24 hours. The next 24 to 48 hours. Make the most out of this. Don't wait. Don't put off tomorrow the reach outs that we need to do today. And the reason why is because procrastination is the killer of all things good. And if you're a procrastinator, I am an Enneagram 9, which procrastinator is on there. And I am been learning ever since I learned about the Enneagram and all of that and like the bad side of number 9. I'm like, gosh, I must drive the other people who aren't procrastinators crazy. And so it's been good for me to learn that. And the things I procrastinate on are, like writing a training or, doing things that impact other people. And it's really taught me a lot of how being better at that helps people. So guys, procrastination will never launch your business. Like there's no procrastination when they're getting ready to get that rocket ship off. They've got the fuel tank full with the whys. They've got the astronaut prepped for success. He's prepped to make it at home. That's what he's prepped for, to get up there and get back safely to his house. He's prepped for success. We've prepped you for success with all the tools that you need. We literally have so many resources. It's not even funny. You have all the tools that you need at your fingertips. But here's the most important thing. It's okay to start not knowing it all. Those astronauts never know what's going to happen when they're in space. They don't know. If you've ever seen Apollo 13, those guys did not know how to handle Apollo 13. But who helped them handle it? Their upline, NASA. They got busy working on all the different things to help them get back home to their families when they're stuck in space without a plan. That's what we are. So no, because I remember thinking I have to know everything. There's no way I had to know everything about the products. I could, and Carly's like, no. And it was so counterintuitive or counterproductive to me in my head. Like, why don't I need to know it all? Because she's like, you can't. You're just never going to start if you wait to know it all. So don't put off today. Don't put off to tomorrow what you need to do today for this. Make it your goal that you want to schedule at least 3 take-a-looks today with someone about the business. And you want to schedule at least 3 events today for the month of June. You let people know I'm brand new, I'm practicing, I need help getting better at this. Please be one of my hosts, because you're not asking them, guys, to buy everything. And that's one of the mistakes I made when I was first starting is I would call people and I was pretty much asking them to buy my products. And people said no over and over again to that. And that's when I realized, wait a second, Beth, I'm trying to sell. And what I need to be doing is sharing. And what I need to be doing is asking people if they would make space in their calendar to help me meet their friends. Because when people have called and asked me to do things like that, I have said yes. I remember one time I had a gal call me and she said, I want to do a jewelry party for a friend and I want to make sure you're there. So can you tell me when you have available? And I said, I'm too busy. I am so sorry. There's just no way. A week later, I had another friend who had booked a jewelry party with a friend of hers. She says, Beth, I have a jewelry event on Tuesday night. It would mean the world to me if you would be there. Do you think I went? Yep, I was there. So it's a big difference when we switch that up a little bit. And guys, the last thing I want to say before I close out, I'll open up to questions, is stay connected. Kim mentioned this, and I can't stress it enough. Attach yourself to the system. Attach yourself to the people above you. Be on every call, be at every meeting. And I will have people tell me, well, I didn't have anybody coming. And I'm like, well, the white Mercedes were at the meeting. And I'm not trying to like pat ourselves on the back. It's just, if we feel the need, you should feel the need if it's something that you want to do and grow to. Guys, be where those people are and you're going to grow. When I joined Arbonne, I was living in Oklahoma for my first 6 months. I had 6 months out there of growing my business and I attached myself to Carlita. Carlita did not attach herself to me. she was available and there, but she had a big growing business and she was working full-time as a nurse. I attached myself to her and I called her. If you're waiting for someone to pick up the phone and call you guys, it's the other way around. And not that we're not going to call you, but I'm just saying, attach yourself to the people above you and you're going to learn little things. I always can tell when someone's starting to kind of fall off, they stop connecting, they stop getting on calls, they stop coming to meetings, they stop doing the things that have kept them connected. And guys, just like any relationship or anything we do, if I were to stop communicating with my husband, we would lose sight of our relationship and that commitment would start to wear away and erode, right? So when we stay connected, that is something that I can say about myself that I've always done. And I've had ups and downs in my business. I've had lots of ups and downs in my business, but I have stayed connected. And I'm telling you, it will just be a blessing in your life. I have never felt like staying connected was a bad thing for me. It's only been a good thing for me and my family. So I want to open this up for questions really quick. I want to show you guys, I was at carlitanelson.com, type in Arbonne, all lowercase right here. New consultants, click here to get started. There is another document on her site that's called Help 8 Plus Fine Tune. This is my reduced getting started page because it kind of shows you what you want to be looking for, how many people you want to help to hit your $2,500 building block. And then it has a getting started checklist. And then it even has a places where you can fill in the names of the 40 conversations you're going to have this month. So I'm going to open this up for questions. Does anybody have any questions you want to ask?